Nope, you're dead.
You know what's so funny though? It's if you ask anybody you know that lives in the Midwest, they got a buddy who still wears shorts in this fucking weather.
Mm-hmm. I got a buddy who's dude, he's probably sitting outside smoking a cigarette right now in his shorts. And he's like,
hey,
yeah.
you guys, I
Wait.
screwed up the thing. I'm going to close it out and I'll be right back.
Wait, no.
You just made Did you see I switched it over to you, Joe? I accidentally made you the host.
Yeah, so
and
here,
it won't let me switch back.
I know, but I can switch it back.
Oh, okay. Switch it back.
Hi, John.
Thank you.
Wait, put Megan in the waiting room? No.
This was a dangerous game I just played.
Dangerous.
Megan is the host now, it says.
Megan is... Phew, we're back.
I don't know where you guys see that, but
it just showed up on my screen, but she's still in the same place on the far right, unless she's supposed to change.
Oh yeah, no, I'm back. It says back. Yeah, I'm back.
Right? No, you have to make me a presenter so that I can.
I know. I couldn't find the thing. It just said hope. I couldn't see the thing, and then I did that.
Yeah, no. So you
hang on. I'm trying to email Satan the link, but he won't.
Well, he's busy trying to find the answer to my Wang Chung question still.
Wang Chung? Wait.
No, he answered it. He said stupid humans for liking that. And I agreed with him.
Yeah, no, you can ask like really good, smart questions and he should be able to answer them.
That is a good, smart question. How do you doubt the good smartness of Wang Chung?
The good smartness?
They got a Hollywood movie theme song, for God's sakes. Come on. They were talented.
I'm feeling young right now because I'm not placing Wang Chung. Actually,
dance hall days. Take your baby by the hand.
1983 points on the curve.
That's a huge 80s song.
That was the year before me. So
okay. To Live and Die in L.A., they did the theme song for that movie.
Yes, they did. That's an underrated William Patterson movie.
There you go.
William Peterson.
I'm gonna add that to my shit that Joe.
Him and Willem Dafoe.
It's no Citizen Kane, but if you've got like an hour and 45 minutes that you don't want back, then go for it.
Right. You want to see a story about the Secret Service? It doesn't have John Malkovich in it.
Got John Malkovich in it?
No.
No, I said if you want to see a movie about the Secret Service that doesn't have John Malkovich in it.
Oh, okay. Fair. I was gonna say, yeah, I do.
I give you all sorts
of shit. Is that my
cue? You're queued up.
I heard it. All right. Everybody, welcome to the Ding Rong Show. I'm your host, Megan Jenkins. Panda is here, and Joe is here, and Steve is here, and John is here. Helena's taking the night off because she has schoolwork to do, and that's more important than this. And we have Satan coming in at some point. I sent him the link for your questions to ask. I think John has a bunch of questions for him.
I do, and they're not jeering questions. They're actually well thought out, very logical questions. I think he would enjoy both hearing and answering.
I'm so excited to hear what you came up with.
I didn't know we had homework. That's bullshit.
Well, I mostly just gave it to John because John had a bunch of questions, and then even after the show, he has some questions. So I thought we'll just put it all on a paper and then bring Satan back in.
Good way to go about it.
That's what you are.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we have the Aldridge report, or we can do, I don't know.
Wait, before that, I want to know because I just saw something gold in John's glass, and I want to know what that is.
It's a little beverage entitled Knob Creek Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 100 proof.
See, there it is. Around here.
See, I've worked 7 days consecutively, and tomorrow is my day off. So, goddamn it, I am earning that.
Heck yeah.
You know what? Cheers, John.
Right.
Just that.
Enjoy it.
Chindan.
Dong. Satan.
Satan's
Good
here.
morning and or evening, all, depending on where you are.
Hey, Satan. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Well, I already had manifested, as it turned out, so it was even easier than I thought.
Yeah, you and I both got last minute calls to be fill-in judges tonight on UG Zoom House Party.
Yes, I got 2 last minute calls, but I was asleep during the first one, and so he called you. And then I got the last
No, I
one.
was right about to take a nap and I checked my thing and I thought, oh, good thing I didn't fall asleep. But yeah, I got in a fight tonight on the show.
I saw.
Did you think I was justified though?
Well, it depends on what, and this is where I object to the individual who was shouting over you. I wanted to hear what your objection was, because you were okay with the one thing the comic said, but what he said that bothered you, I didn't catch.
Yeah,
when
he said a second. Yeah, he said a
and
second.
you were
sentence.
shouted over when you tried to explain, which there's at least 2 people wrong, and there may be, I think you may have contributed to the problem tonight, but definitely I felt there was some sour grapes going on. I thought it was a little inappropriate for the comic to be acting that way. And I thought it was inappropriate for that other comic to be shouting over you, because that just, whether or not you were right to say what you were saying, it made the matter worse. So now I'm curious to hear what you have to say before I pronounce judgment on your doom.
Well, I have to watch it back to get the exact sentence that he said that
Okay.
that I was, because I want to get it correct.
Right.
But he said all this stuff
Right.
about, oh, this was a white girls' night and all, because,
Yes.
and I get it, and that was all funny and fine. But then
Although,
he said
may I
something
point
that was
something out? May I point something out?
sure.
The one white contestant had the lowest score.
Yeah, see, I mean, it was stupid. I'm glad
Yeah.
I got to holler out "that's stupid" before Todd muted me. That's the guy.
Yeah, okay. So what was it that, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to make that point that for it being a white girls' night, the winners were not white.
I know.
And the white person got the lowest score out of all of them. So now, sorry, I wanted to make that clear for everybody so that, yeah, so go on. What was it that
Thank you. No,
this
that was
individual said?
So wait,
no,
I
that
want
was
to know.
actually
Is
perfect,
it,
and I have to go back and rewatch because I want to know. I
Right.
knew what the sentence was at the time, but there's been so much in between
Mm-hmm.
that I want to get the sentence right of what he said, because it was something like the white girl gave the black man the low score because he's black, or it was something like that after saying this was a white girls' night, and then he said, and it was because I had given him a lower score, but it was about his act. It wasn't about his. Well, you saw it. It was stupid.
Yeah, I would have to think about that. It's something that could have probably, I don't know if the show itself was the appropriate medium to bring that up, since, I don't know that it wasn't. I am not, God makes these judgments, not I. I just deal out the punishments. But it's one of those contextual things. Now, it is, I consider our job to be, to be judging more or less, fairly, more or less, and to be entertaining. So it could, and I did speak with Todd a little bit about this after the show. He called me. It may have been very entertaining for the audience to watch the fracas at the end. I don't know. It was harder from the point of view, I think, for the judges, because we didn't want to see that kind of disharmony in the show. But, when you think ratings, it may have been good ratings-wise. I wonder if it would have been better to have, said nothing and voiced your concern to Todd afterwards. But I don't know.
My only thing was because it's on air being recorded.
Yes,
if I have an opportunity to correct something, I'm going to take it and correct it.
And I felt, since you were going there, you should have been, whether you were right or not wrong to say it, I think it was wrong not to let you say it. Either let you be wrong or hear what you had to say. And that, I think, was inappropriate when, the other person started shouting, "Oh, this is comedy, we can all be friends." And that just made it worse.
Did you hear him go, "I hate white chicks"?
I don't remember him
Watch
saying
it all back. He got real.
He definitely got angry at the end. But the other comic was saying so much stuff. If people were talking under him, I didn't hear what they were saying. There was a bit of a, before that, with the whole thing about who liked poo-poo jokes and who didn't. There was a white people against black people thing insinuated there as well. Oh, white people don't like doo-doo jokes,
Bullshit. And I like poop jokes.
Yes, well, so do I. He got defensive.
That don't like poop jokes. It's not white people. It's just tight asses.
Yes.
It was like me.
Or people who are skeeved out by it.
Yeah, if you don't like poop jokes, you're just taking the whole fucking thing too seriously.
But there was another context being implied, and I brought it up, and the comic got defensive, but only because that's when I felt his energy was off, and I think he got it when I started to explain, because he definitely picked up steam and was a lot funnier later in his set. And he's, it was kind of unfortunate it occurred. It's one of those things, do you let it go or not? But I think, again, I will say this, whether or not you are right to object, you should have been allowed to say your piece. I think Todd at the end muted you because things were just getting completely out of hand. And at that point, I don't blame him for muting you, but I wish,
And once he said I'm muting people, I kept my mouth shut and I didn't even try to open again because I had said what I needed to say. Yeah. And then that guy said, "I hate white chicks," and it was like.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember him saying something like, "I'm out of here," or "fuck this," or something like that. But I don't remember him. Yeah.
It's just dumb. I'm just so tired of people taking things I say and do out of context and making it this thing that it's so not. And it's been happening all this week, and I'm just a little more reactionary to it. So when that would have driven me crazy anyway, what that guy said, but I'm still bothered by it. And normally I wouldn't be bothered by it, but it's all this other stupid stuff. It's just, anyway, I should probably stop talking.
And like I said, the whole thing could have gone down better.
It went down.
It went down.
It's in the books now. Satan, I have to say that I'm incredibly impressed with how objective you can be. I did not really think that this, I didn't think that we would see such an objective judgment from you.
Oh, well, I get a lot of shit thrown my way, so, and again, it suits certain interests to label me the bad guy. It gives the church a lot more power to screw with little boys and things like that if they're protecting against my evil. If I'm so evil, then anything the church does can't be as evil in comparison. Sure. So there's that. There's also, when I started the judging early this summer, I kind of picked up a rhythm, and part of the entertainment value of what I'm doing on the show is being the rules stickler, because it's counterintuitive and adds to the comedy. Did you enjoy the score I gave Sonia Vai?
Yeah, was that where you held your crotch up to the screen?
Oh, well, there was that. Now, that was the score I gave, not Sonia Vai. That was the score I gave, I always forget his name. The Middle Eastern fellow, the gay fellow who made it to the final round. Oscar,
yeah.
I tried to do it, and Todd said nothing could be seen. I tried to do it so nothing could be seen, but it was clear I was holding it over my reproductive organs. Was I successful in shielding or not?
Yeah, because I didn't see anything.
No, everybody reacted as if they'd actually seen.
I know. I
thought maybe one of my testicles was showing or something, but because it's hard, because the camera's at waist level when I stand. When I stand, it's here. So, where's the card? So, what happened is the comic was making jokes about the Olympics and saying that if war was gay, it would be the Olympics because of the gymnastics and the ice skating and all this stuff. So I subtracted a point from his score because he disrespected the ancient Spartans, who were very gay, but they were also the most disciplined and ferocious fighting force of ancient times. So I subtracted, I won't do all the history. I went like this, but I pulled my robe up to subtract the Ace of Wands from his score because it's, very phallic. And people were traumatized, even though all they saw was the card. And I had pulled up my robe behind it.
Oh, I love that.
From the reaction, I thought they must have seen something because it was pretty tame what I was doing.
Well, I must have missed something, because did a week or two ago you actually did flash somebody?
No.
Oh, well, what are they all talking about then?
I have done things like that in the past, but never on a Zoom show.
I thought it was like 2 weeks ago they're going, oh, Satan's gonna show his penis again. I don't know. I don't bother. I do 2 weeks ago on Todd's show. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Satan, John's got a couple questions for you. That
only a couple.
I've got many more. I had to edit myself, but
yes, no. This is John and Satan time, and anybody else who wants to jump in and ask anything.
I want to say one of the reasons that I needed to come online is that the 2 times John and I have interacted, I have not been able to respond in real time.
Yeah,
I know.
That was an especially problem on your marathon because you guys are saying all kinds of ridiculous things. And when I would answer, you would have no idea what I was saying because I'm not very fast at typing. And you'd already forgotten what you had said and the context. So maybe I can keep up a little here.
Yeah. Well, I was running on adrenaline too, to my credit. So
Yes.
I was in the.
Well, put all the blame on John. John,
hey.
You should have fucking remembered what you were saying.
Satan, anyway. I was running. You remember, the miracle of Hanukkah? How there was enough oil to last one night, and it lasted 8 days. I was like. I was like the Jewish goyim, doing too many hours at work, coming back from one job and having 3 hours of sleep and having to go to the next job.
In your defense, I remember that now. Yes, so we were all tired. I'm just tired because I'm slothful. I needed a nap after Todd's show before this.
Well, it'll be granted, I'm sure. I actually wanted to preface my questions with one question. If I gave you like the make, model, and license number of one of my neighbor's cars. Could you do something to the brakes, maybe to cause him to like hit a tree? Or I don't want anybody to get hit. I'd like it to happen in a strategic way where he's like the only casualty of the accident. He's got a habit of like parking, I don't know, like 5 feet from where the curb meets a ramp on the sidewalk, making it impossible for one more car to fit on our block. And he's completely in his legal rights. I just don't think what he's doing is very moral. And I know it's a stretch to ask you to contribute to the morality of society, but how say you? Is there some way I could? My soul's not for sale, but I do have a couple of savings bonds. I don't know if currency goes too far with you. What's your thought on that?
Do you want the honest answer or the dishonest answer?
Well,
to the question,
I think the dishonest answer is what I'm going to get, but give me whatever answer comes to mind.
Well, actually, I was more interested in giving you the honest answer, but it's less entertaining than the dishonest answer.
Let's entertain the folks.
Okay.
Give me what
So
you got.
far, neither one's entertained.
All right. Well, first of all, your soul, as all other human souls, are completely worthless.
Okay, I'll take that.
I don't deal direct in human sales. I go through, middlemen. I go through brokers who stack your, the collateral debt obligations. Basically, your lousy soul would be stacked in a tray with a slightly better soul, and it would deal in bulk. Even then, souls are worthless. However, you could go to Mount Shasta on wait for the next full lunar eclipse, and swear the soul of your unborn child. Promise it will not be aborted, and that you will sacrifice it on the first new moon after its birth. And then I will fulfill your desires in relation to your nasty neighbor.
Given the premise that I have no intention of, by design, of impregnating a woman, is there a plan?
Well, you
B,
better get fucking busy.
Well, no, there's.
Well,
I live in California, and California is as close to hell as you're gonna get, with the exception of maybe one of the Middle Eastern countries that's ravaged by warlords. It's a financial hell.
At least you have Meghan in California.
Meghan is the good. She is the yin to California's yang. Yeah.
They don't like me here.
That's why we need you here.
So that was the dishonest answer. Would you now like to hear the honest answer?
I would like to hear the honest answer.
Basically, I ain't gonna do shit for you because sloth is my favorite sin, and I really don't give a fuck.
Okay, well, there you go.
Pray to God.
Okay, well, God's. Yeah, well, I tried that already, and we know
God even gives less of a fuck. That's your problem.
You're not wrong, Satan. You are not wrong. Well,
at least I'm sitting here talking to you. God won't even do that.
Well, okay, so now I've got another question that came from your answer.
It'll probably be the same answer, but go ahead.
In Charlie Daniels' The Devil Went Down to Georgia, the whole premise of that was, the devil is going to get your soul if you can't play the fiddle better than he can. Now, if my soul, or hell, if whoever's soul was involved in that bargain, was that whole song just a hoax, or were souls valued in the 1970s when the song came out?
Oh, I like the song, and I would say it's more not so much a hoax as mythology, and this is where I wish I had the book handy. It explains this well. the whole thing comes from the idea that a musician could go to the crossroads at night and make a deal with the devil. But it wasn't actually the devil. It was an Orisha, one of the deities, West African deities that was worshipped in Santeria, Voodoo, Obeah, different names for the beliefs that came out of West Africa and were disguised as Catholicism so that they could continue to worship. I'm looking at in the monitor and my horns are uneven, but oh well. So it wasn't technically Satan that was involved in going and bargaining your soul, not even necessarily bargaining your soul, but going and asking for, a supernatural ability in music. So it's kind of a crossover in mythology that got Christianized, like so many other things about my possible origins.
So what you're saying here is that you're not getting royalties off of any of this shit.
Oh, hell no, I'm a poor devil. No.
Well, it's almost like wondering if King Kong was going to get royalties after the Donkey Kong video game. They were like, Nintendo was like, tough shit on that one.
Yes, well, King Kong just has a thing for blondes. Money doesn't really matter to him. But it all goes to, I talk about this sometimes when I do my miserable performances, that the nature of God is the biggest piece of shit in the universe. If he were really cool, he would make himself absolutely insignificant and hide and give us all the majesty and the glory and the power. And instead, he hoards it all to himself and makes us beg and plead for the merest crumbs. And so when you see tyrants and dictators and CEOs hoard as much power as possible, they're actually being godly. They're actually being closer to God by fucking everybody over except themselves, because that's what God does. So that answers, Joe, I think that sort of answers your question.
Well, on that note, I listened to some of your interview with Panda, your maiden voyage interview with Panda, and you mentioned how God, comes down to hell on occasion, and the two of you play cards. I would liken that to, going to Vegas and knowing that the house either is playing with a marked deck or just has the odds stacked against you, and no matter what, statistically you're bound to lose. Don't you feel, are you just trying to pass the time, or why would you want to play cards with somebody who's got their own best interest above yours?
Okay. If your boss insisted on coming over and playing poker every night with you, knowing that he's cheating and going to win, do you say no? If you know
I would find it. Yeah, I'd make up an excuse. Oh, no. I don't go out and I don't bring people over on days that end in Y. No, I've got shopping to do tonight, or I've got when I had hair, I would say I've got to wash my hair tonight. And then the next night I'd be like, oh no, I got to dry it. I'd always find a reason.
Well, now you know your punishment. For eternity, you're going to be my personal assistant. And you're going to have to come up with these excuses for God. So I can keep him out of my fucking hair. As you can see, I'm losing it. So the sooner I have you down here, the better.
Well, doesn't God realize how busy you are and think, Devil's got all these souls to contend with? The last thing he needs is like 2 hours of my time, playing a deck of cards. God can hang out with who's in heaven, by the way? Nobody really.
No one. Only abortions.
Abortions.
That's why that's why I was saying in the dishonest version, you would have to sacrifice the child after it's born, so I get its soul. Because if you just impregnate a woman and she has an abortion, I don't get to keep the soul.
Do you think people like maybe Leo Buscaglia or Bob Ross, like really super nice people like that made it to heaven on any level?
No.
Doris
and I
Day?
think I explained this on Megan's show. I explained it somewhere. This goes back to the creation of the Temple of Israel under King David. And they had the Ark of the Covenant, right?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm, trying to recreate the Indiana Jones music. But anyway, and I have no talent. So on the way, the Ark had to be transported to the temple. And they loaded it onto a cart of oxen. And God decreed that should any man touch the ark, that they would be smited down. And as the ox was being pulled by oxen along the road, it hit a rut. The wheel hit one of the oxen stumbled, and the cart went, like this, seesawing. And one of the guards reached out his hand to steady the ark to keep it from falling, and zap! No more guy. He was, hit by a bolt of lightning. And David is like, why? The guy was just trying to help. And God was like, fuck him. So if God is so uptight that you can't even put a little bit of your fingerprint grease on his ride without him killing you instantly, I think you can't really hope, for much salvation or sympathy or pity from God.
That's very suggestive of, do you know the paradox of the Chinese dynasties? I could explain it.
I should know. I will pretend that I don't, just to allow you to explain, because I really don't.
So here's the deal. So let's say you have a dynasty, or you're a part of a dynasty, and you're walking along the road, and there's a carriage that's hit a ditch, and now it's like turned over, and there's somebody underneath that carriage, and they're gonna die if you don't help them. Well, your dynasty is not the only one. There are other dynasties, maybe just one other one. Now, if the person who is dying under that carriage, if you don't help them and it turns out they're part of your dynasty, you'll be put to death. Now, if you do help them and it turns out that they're a part of another dynasty, when it's found out by your dynasty, you're put to death. So you really can't know. You're almost a victim of your own circumstance. You can't know what's going to happen until you do it, and then you are really rolling the dice. So it sounds very.
Dynasty.
What's that?
It's Schrodinger's dynasty.
It shows a terrible lack of preparation on the part of the dynast, because knowing this, they should have a team of assassins on retainer.
Yes.
So that when you save this person, they immediately suffer an accidental death if they're turn out not to belong to your dynasty.
Exactly. Okay. So therein lies the coincidence.
Yeah.
So, before,
but there, here it's just somebody was putting his fingerprints on God's ark, and they die instantly. It's not
in an effort to benefit the ark.
Yes, if the guy had just stood there and watched the thing fall over plump on the ground, God would have done nothing to him.
Wow. Yes, that's correct.
So it's even worse than the paradox.
You don't touch another man's Ferrari, dude.
Yeah.
But
even if you touch it, is he justified in killing you? I'm not saying that. Obviously, if you key the car, hell, he should run you backwards and forwards and tape your screens and listen to them in slow motion. But just touching, I mean, maybe you get fucked up, but killed?
That's a tall order.
Yes.
But, this is a primitive society, and hopefully we've evolved. But, again, with
Yes, humans have evolved, but God hasn't evolved.
Yeah, that's therein lies the conflict.
This is a really good segue into this week's Aldridge report.
Shall I commence the Aldridge report?
Yeah, why not?
And
then sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Satan. It was just such a perfect topic.
Is that the one that you just broadcast on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. Should I do my disclaimer now or after it's read?
Well, if there's a disclaimer, say it before.
Yes. The words of the editor are not necessarily the opinions. The opinions of the editor are not necessarily the opinions of the sub-manager.
Who's who?
Well, I'm the sub-manager.
And the editor is who? Me?
Whoever wrote
Who wrote it?
Yes.
Okay, that's a really good disclaimer. I kept getting into trouble tonight, so I thought I just expected. Thank you. Okay, perfect.
Okay, shall we commence?
Yes.
Last week on the Ding Wrong Show, guests included everyone's favorite fallen angel, Satan, who measured each cast member's soul for the perfect suit of flame that will be worn by each individual for eternity's damnation after life on this green earth. Of course, this is not something Satan did openly, because that is not how the Prince of Darkness operates, but from his loft in Harlem. Satan determined the best particularized damnation destiny for each cast member present on the show last week, and this includes the author of the regular feature, The Aldrich Report, even though Mark had declined an invitation from host Meghan Jenkins to appear. From Satan's perspective, intentions and actions are the same, and intentions often count for more, or less, depending on one's point of view as it regards eternal damnation. Mark's fate, you see, is sealed. As anyone who has encountered Satan knows, as the participants in last week's show now know, Satan finds all of this boring and yet invigorating because the point of his existence is the assigning of cruel destinies. It is Satan's calling. In other news, the writer and editor of the Aldrich Report tried to quit the Ding Wrong Show daily for the last week, and yet is still here. Parentheses, this is not a rerun. End parentheses. Because he realizes, in a way similar to Satan, that the Ding Wrong Show and all affiliated enterprises, too numerous to count because most of them do not yet exist, are involved with his calling. Also, Panda has a voodoo doll of the writer and editor of the Aldrich Report, and now Mark's ears hurt. Ooh. For Thanksgiving, Panda hosted a marathon 24 hours of live programming on her Instagram page. She interviewed many friends, shared hundreds of laughs, entertained thousands, and the show is still available on the Ding Wrong Show Instagram. It is worth rewatching. Also, it is fun to write and say the word "the" 3 times in a row with cause. On this date in 1966, our clocks became more precise. Radio station WWV only broadcasts one thing: the time. Every minute on the minute, 24 hours a day, every day, a bell chimes and an unidentified male voice announces the exact time. For the other 59 seconds, a tick is heard. Despite the terribly predictable programming, WWV is one of the most listened to radio stations in the nation. It operates on 5 radio bands, 2.5, 5, 10, 15, and 20 megahertz. Hoa! WWV is also the oldest continuously operating radio station in the United States. It was launched in May 1920 and is a part of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, the branch of our government that measures things. Until 54 years ago today, the radio station and transmitter were headquartered in Maryland. But at precisely midnight on December 1st, 1966, WWV switched its broadcast to a new transmitter in Fort Collins, Colorado, a location that every device in America that sets its own time knows intimately. This new location brought the station transmitter so much closer to our nation's atomic oscillators that its ticking, measurements, and announcements every minute were brought a full 10 times closer to true time. No. Now, Oscar Wilde died on this date in 1900s. He spent the last years in the good city of Bedford Falls of his life in poverty, in exile, and in Paris. I have lost the joy of writing. He wrote one correspondent. You know, one of his final witticisms came on his deathbed 120 years ago tonight. Well, with a look and gesture about his cheap room, Wilde told his friends, quote, "My wallpaper and I are fighting a duel to the death. One of us had to go." End quote. Billy Idol is 65 today, which is a sentence only the time announcers at radio station WWV can believe. This was the Aldrich Report for November 30th, 2020, written with the capable assistance of Satan. Here is the rest of the week's The Ding Rong Show, starring Voodoo Panda and her classmates of comedy, featuring the talented and beautiful Megan Jenkins.
Thank you, John. It's me, Panda.
Thank you. Hey, Panda. What it is?
Hey, guys.
How are you?
I don't have a voodoo doll of Mark. I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, this Mark. That is his paranoid fantasy coming to life.
Right. I mean, his ears probably hurt for a lot of different reasons that are not.
Well, you can just say I wrote that part. Not that I did, but no one will believe me anyway.
Yeah. It's the devil.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I got nothing to say about that, honestly. Like, I'm just kind of in shock still. It'll come to me.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it either. I was very confused all week.
Well, I don't think you have to say anything about it, Panda. I think you just keep doing you.
Okay.
I wanted to chime in on something. Panda, when Megan was talking earlier about her episode tonight with wild accusations of racism and what have you, here's the thing: if you gave anybody who is a minority a higher score, wouldn't that equal reverse discrimination and therefore be considered just as racist?
No, see, it's not reverse. It's just discrimination. Like it's just racism, right?
What if she just said, okay, for everybody who's not Caucasian, you don't get a score?
Yeah, everybody gets the highest score if you're not white, because then you'll get mad at me and say that that's
right.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not because your set wasn't that great.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of racism, right?
I thought so.
I don't know.
I mean,
technically I'm white, so I'm the only one that really knows how to be racist. So, there's that. And then I'm the only one that has the power. So, I would say that's racist, but I don't know. Right.
Joe, that's sloth is just not using your power. So you're just as evil as you are racist.
Yeah, I get it now. I get it. Thank you for pointing that out, John. Thank you. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, I just have a couple final questions.
Yeah. Get back. Thank you for reading that, John.
Oh, you're welcome.
I
Thank
like
you.
the Bullwinkle voice the most.
Yay. Ooh, you're welcome. So Satan is Anton LaVey considered the Black Pope? And Aleister Crowley had his place in in your I really don't know. I know that Jimmy Page bought a house that Aleister Crowley owned, and Aleister Crowley was maybe a satanic. Well, just I don't know. I'm a musician. I hear this shit. So
Also,
are they?
Also, another note, since I interrupted you already, and I don't want to do it again, but I'm gonna buy you a longer boom stand so that we can see you while you're fucking
No,
talking.
I need a longer apartment because I'm not gonna
Is
make.
that it? I can't
Boom
afford
stick.
a longer apartment.
I have a catalog. Hang on.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait,
Sorry,
the
Satan.
apartment catalog or the boom stand catalog? 'Cause-
So Satan is Anton LaVey, Aleister Crowley. Do they have a higher position in hell? I don't know if Anton LaVey is still on on this side of the grass. Where do they stand with you?
Why
Well,
do I know that name though?
first of all, it's actually Crowley. It's Aleister Crowley. What's his name? The Black Sabbath guy, whose name I'm brain farting.
Ozzy Osbourne?
Yeah, Ozzy mispronounced his name. It's
Okay.
Crowley.
Don't speak bad of Ozzy.
Pardon?
Don't speak ill of Ozzy. You misspoke his name.
He's, the older he gets, the more I like him. I don't have much time for the young Ozzy Osbourne, but I really like the old Ozzy Osbourne. He's mellowed like a fine wine. Maybe all the drugs, but I definitely think he improves with age.
That's the most incorrect thing I've ever heard.
That's the most what?
Incorrect thing I've ever heard.
We have different tastes in music. Let's just say.
You apparently have no taste. None.
Well, I'm my heart is warmed by that because you're going to have to listen to my favorite music for eternity in hell.
I'm already living.
9 Inch Nails, Screaming Jay Hawkins. You're gonna have to put up with all that shit.
Well, man, that's a really horrible time.
But
yeah. Sounds like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You want to torture me? Make me listen to Mike Jones? What the fuck? Get real. Come on, man.
Well, I think
so. We have some slight disparity in who we like in music, but that whole Iron Man, I Am Iron Man song is just boring.
Agreed. But Satan, can I support one of what you're going to say, or actually ask you a little clarity here? The early Black Sabbath songs, NIB, standing for Nativity in Black. That's pretty satanic, and I think. What was the other one? I can't recall the name of the song.
War
but
Pigs is okay. I just,
Yeah.
I think I liked his voice though. I thought age improved his voice. It added more texture. I don't like that whiny, high-pitched rock and roll voice. So the more it became gravelly, the more I liked it.
You're the reason I have Alabama shakes. Thanks, buddy.
I heard the word black, so I think this whole conversation is racist now.
Oh my God. That's, yeah.
He did it. Don't blame the guy with the haircut. I didn't do it.
But as for their standing in hell, Anton LaVey, let's talk about Anton LaVey. I mean, he was and he did pass away. He was a spiritual atheist. He didn't even really worship me or anything, which I actually approve of, because if you worship me, like, what the fuck? There are theistic Satanists, and theistic Satanists don't like me. But because I'm a real disappointment to them. As you can see, I mean, really. But Anton LaVey, they're not, I mean, they're just in hell. They don't get, Ozzy won't get any special honors. Trump is going to have honors and accolades.
I was going to
Hitler
ask
is
that.
going to have honors and accolades. Because all the people that you gave power in life will still have power over you in death. And that's your punishment. For eternity, you're stuck with these assholes that you let ruin everything.
Are you going to allow Trump to get laid in hell when he gets there?
Well, yeah, he likes big, strong men.
Okay. As long as he's facing the other way, I think I would have no problem with that arrangement.
But in my books, Trump is no more evil than Biden or Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton or Barack Obama or any of them. He's just a different flavor. He's an opposed faction. He did save America temporarily from the Trans-Pacific Pact, and he did other evils to the country instead. You're basically choosing between the kinds of poison that are being, injected into you.
Okay, good answer. Good answer. Now, is there a house band in hell, and will Marilyn Manson lead it, or who gets to play lead guitar or sing? Or
if you watch Meghan's show, you already know that the lead singer will be Karen Carpenter.
Oh my God! Why would she be the lead singer in hell? I think Karen Carpenter's a good person. She might not have been good to herself, but I know people who knew her. She was very nice.
She wrote my theme song.
Which one was that?
Let's sing it.
I'm on top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me on the top of the world.
Okay.
Nothing more satanic than that.
Bully for that one. Okay. Wow. To think that Karen Carpenter to Satan. Wow.
I know, but it makes so much sense, right?
It's like when you have a jigsaw puzzle and there's that one piece missing and you're like, where the fuck is it? It didn't leave this room, and then you find it like 2 rooms away. You're like, aha. Then it's complete.
She was real rock and roll. Look at how she self-destructed. Someday I want to produce a video with that and have like tanks going behind me and nuclear bombs exploding and Nazi flags and everything in the background, while I sing that song. But it hasn't happened yet.
Well,
You're in a rap video though, right, Satan?
Pardon?
Aren't you in a rap video?
Oh, I am, but I'm just eye candy. I'm not singing, and it hasn't been produced yet. We've done some filming. We're apparently going to a studio in Queens to finish the filming, a real professional studio.
Nice.
There was a story where both, they're now both immortal, but John Bonham from Led Zeppelin, their drummer, got pissed because Downbeat magazine voted him number 4 drummer and Karen Carpenter number 1, and he looked at that. He said, "Oh, I'm in the wrong fucking business." Now, how are they getting along now that they're both in hell? Do they fight over who's gonna play drums or who? Well, she can only sing, he can't, so there's that. But like, how do they work that out? Whenever it's jam night down there.
Well, basically, like in some of the like Freddy movies and things, when there are like outgrowths of skin, like tendrils, she's basically has to like tendrils have grown from her arms to his arms, and she has to stand over him and do the marionette drum thing for him while she sings, and they both hate it.
Oh my God! So it's hell. It's hell for everybody.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I see. This is now like the light at the end of the tunnel is the oncoming train. Well, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no further questions, Your Honor. That was a very comprehensive and well thought out list of responses, and thank you for your time, Satan. This has been like I don't know. Am I the Mike Wallace or Dan Rather of the Ding Wrong show to ask questions like these? This was a very good interview.
Well, first of all, did you check the frequency?
Negative.
Okay. And have you, well, you may be still the Dan Rather because you wanted the dishonest version of the story first.
Okay. Very good answer yet again.
No frequency checking and dishonest reporting. That's Dan Rather.
Well, as long as Donald Trump isn't here to call fake news, because we didn't really directly insult him.
No,
if we did, then that's the first thing we would hear. So
no, but I'll keep Noam Chomsky in reserve to call it fake news.
I will hold you to that.
He was calling it fake news 40 years before Trump was.
That's right, in a much more likable way.
Well, yes, granted.
Very good. Okay, well, would somebody else like to take the microphone? Is Megan?
Well, Steve's here, and Steve doesn't talk a lot, so I thought it'd be fun if everybody asked questions to Steve so we could get to know Steve more. I already know Steve a little bit, but you guys don't so much, so he's very interesting.
Well, I mean, I've been getting to know Steve just over the course of the weeks. I mean, I think he's a pretty good guy. I think
Do you have any questions that you want to know about his life?
Well, I mean, Steve, like, give me a summary of you in like 300 words or less. Like, tell me you.
I like it.
Oh, Jesus.
No pressure, baby. No pressure.
Yeah, I'm just stoned, so you get whatever comes out. 46, divorced, got a kid. She's 17.
That's not a kid.
It's a kid. More DUIs than I can count. Probably the only one on this show that's been to prison. So hey, yay me.
Do you want to talk about that? Because that's kind of interesting. You and I started talking about that a long time ago because you were going to be on my podcast, and then the podcast stopped.
I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, it was 8 years ago. So yeah, but in Michigan, if you get your 5th DUI and you're on probation for your 4th DUI, they send you to prison. She was like, I need you to take a vacation.
How long did you have to stay in?
I was in for 11 months. That was it. Low security. After being there for like 3 weeks, I had a job every day and I left on a bus and went across town and filled bags for other prisoners. Store bags.
Filled bags of what?
Like commissary stuff.
Okay.
Like chips, shaving cream, stuff that they buy in the store. And we've shipped them out to, I don't know, a dozen or so prisons throughout Michigan. So I was busy all the time.
That's rad.
I mean,
do you get paid? Do you get paid like for what you do? Like in the Blues Brothers movie, I think they were given a siphon because they were like saying, "Oh, you got 35 cents an hour for 5 years, and here's like $2,000 or something like that." Is there like a paycheck?
It's something. Honest to God, I want to say it was 92 cents a day. I don't remember if it was 92 cents a day or 90 cents an hour, but either way, any money you made over a certain amount went towards your fines. Like I was only allowed to have $50 in my bank account. Anything over that would be taken out for fines, court stuff, all that
I
shit.
want to know how to calculate this because, obviously you're a prisoner, and then they give you a job, right? So like you're producing value, but they're just taking that away, and then somehow they come up with this round figure of 92 cents a day that you need to be fucking compensated because that's just something that you need, right? Like, I mean, that's like, how can you give me insight on that, or you don't?
I mean, I couldn't explain why it is what it is. I have
Seems
no idea. I
fucked
just
up to me.
I mean, it is. I mean, think like because no one was really wanting to do jobs in prison. I didn't mind it because it kept me away from my cellmate, who was this stinky, dirty old guy, just gross. So I didn't mind going to work. But
I mean,
like if they did it, if they gave you like an actual hourly wage, even say they did $5 an hour and put that towards your fines and stuff, people would be more acceptable. You'd be working your way off, somehow.
like I'm just curious why they don't pay you like minimum wage or something, because they're making money off of just housing you.
Yeah.
Just detaining you, they're making fucking money. So like, and you're doing a job for them that they need to do. Like, I don't understand how this is not like indentured servitude. And it's basically slavery, no?
I guess for the most part, I mean, it's DUIs are just big money. It's a big money game.
Well, the whole
It's
thing's a
huge.
big money game. I mean, that's kind of what I'm pointing at, right?
Well, I know what you're saying, and it is, and I mean, I don't know what you can do about it. I mean, you turn it over to private, and it's all for profit and all that shit at that point anyway.
Right. Well, I mean, like, you know what? This is state pen, right? This isn't federal penitentiary. This is state pen. Right. So, I mean,
I feel like Steve was pretty popular in prison, though.
Hopefully for the right reason.
No, I mean like well liked, like people respected him. I don't mean popular how John's going. I mean like people like I could just because he's very charismatic and doing the thing with the food bags and all that. I mean that seems like a very smart way to do time if you have to do time.
Well, I want to say I heard this somewhere. It was like a prison documentary or something. Like there was some guy who was like
fake news.
Yeah, he was all Satan. You are gonna like this. This is good press for you. Not that you need it, but he was this one guy was into Satan, and everybody left him alone. Whereas like you're into Jesus, and then they'll be like, oh, he's into Jesus. It's like, let's go, like beat the shit out of him or worse, but this one person had like pentagrams and upside down cross tattooed on his arm and so on and so forth. And they were like, well, fucking guy's into Satan. We're backing off.
If you become clergy when you're in prison, a lot of times your sentence gets reduced.
That's true. That's kind of why the Nation of Islam.
Take that however you want, but that happens.
Well, probably becoming a high priest of Satan won't reduce your crime, however, your time.
Oh my God.
That was my point, right? Like what constitutes clergy? Like, I mean, if I go like full blown Catholic, right? And then I want to like aspire to be like
Well, no, I had a family member who was in
molest little children, right? Like does that get me time off my sentence?
More getting ordained, it's not a specific thing. I feel like it's just if you're ordained.
What was your
So if I can marry people, I get time off my sentence?
Well, like, I had a family member who was in a very high security, very well-known prison for something very bad. And he got out. I don't think ever was going to get out, but he became a priest. And I don't know him, so whether or not it's legit, because I never...
The fuck was that?
The water bottle fell and scared me.
Jesus Christ.
I should stop talking about this, is what that was.
I thought Satan struck you with a lightning bolt.
No, but like, I just, because he became a priest. And so I thought, oh, that's kind of a smart thing, and that's why they were like, oh, well, you're fine for society. And maybe he is. But then that just happened and I'm scared. So now I don't know how to edit this.
Okay. Hey, that makes me think of something. I was watching a thing on Netflix about the Scientology religion, and they are really fucking evil. They're like the mafia. They just manipulate, they steal, all sorts of abuse, sexual abuse, whatever you could think of. That's them. And they know all the ways to talk to law enforcement. So whenever they're investigated, their followers defend them, and they say, oh, nothing's going wrong here, so on and so forth. Satan, how do you view the Scientology religion?
I thought we were talking to Steve.
We are, but I just thought this was like an interesting, because, let's say you became a pastor or minister of Scientology. There is a divide where it has to be a moral religion, and Scientology is kind of, playing tug of war with the idea that they're this, self-improvement, life-affirming religion, when they're a bunch of like, child molesting creeps.
Well, so they're like any other religion.
So they're like any other. They're like the Catholic religion.
So you're
like
answering your own question, essentially. As long as they can grease the palms of law enforcement and the authorities, they're as legitimate as anyone else, and they can fuck over whomever they please.
Nice.
You should be their spokesperson.
No, because then they charge me money.
Okay, yeah, I see the problem.
I'm not getting a cut from them. They can go fuck themselves.
And he'd have to fight Tom Cruise.
Yeah, right.
They treat celebrities really well. Those are the only people they treat well.
To a degree, they do. But Tom Cruise is like so brainwashed by them. It's hardly worth the good treatment.
I put two of him, just like fierce and all. Like I'm just curious what kind of plans you have for that motherfucker when he's done.
Who, Tom Cruise?
Yeah, or is he God's creature?
He'll have to sleep with women and enjoy it.
Oh, that's a tall order.
Going on the spaceship, you won't have to worry about him.
Yeah, right. He's going on the spaceship. He's gonna live forever. Right. Got it.
The world needs Mission Impossible 93.
It does.
Like I need a hole in the head.
What do you guys want to do?
Why don't we sing a song?
Right. Okay.
Oh dear.
What song you want to sing, babe?
I don't know. John, think of a song. I'm gonna get Panda because she's gonna want to do this.
Well, Satan, you're a big fan of Nine Inch Nails. You want to do? You want to play Closer?
Oh sure.
I just don't know the lyrics fully, but I can play the drum beat to it.
I don't know the lyrics at all.
Voice.
I know some of the lyrics. I don't know that I know all.
Save us.
You want to give it a try, because it's got to be better than anything we've ever done on this show before.
I've enjoyed some of the Closer mashups with there's some pretty funny mashups of Closer.
What do you think, Panda? What is your thought?
I think let's do 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 do.
Everybody can bless those rains.
No. I saw the rain down in Africa. You know that one?
What song is that?
Oh, Africa.
Photo.
I only know that though. What I just did. So let's do a different song.
Do you want to mash "Lean on Me" with "Closer"? Just kind of do both.
Whoa.
I don't know how that would come out.
I think I could follow my lead on this. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I feel like John's gonna be singing this song.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain. We all have sorrow. But if we are right, always tomorrow. Lean on me.
I want to fuck you like an animal. My whole existence is flawed.
When you're not home,
like an animal.
I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. So it won't be long. I won't do
But if you fuck me like an animal. There you go.
There we go.
On that.
Lean on me like an animal.
Well, that improved at least one of the songs.
Steve, what's your opinion on that?
I have nothing to say about
Nothing. Just mind blown.
I couldn't figure out how to get in that thing at all.
Okay.
I didn't want to sing over John.
We'll work on it. We'll have another go round. It's not about singing over anyone. It's about the ensemble.
I didn't know what to do. I was blind.
Come on and close the curtains, 'cause all we need is candlelight, you and me, and a bottle of wine to hold you tonight. Oh no. And we know, you know this, I'm going away, and how I wish, Evil Eye Cherry, wish you weren't so.
Yeah.
Take this time and drink with me, just to lay on misery. Here you go. Stay tonight. Fight the break of dawn. Come. Tomorrow I'll be gone. Save tonight. Fight the break of dawn. Come.
See, so like, that's one of those songs where the verse is the catchy part, right?
Yeah.
You know? And then you're like, oh yeah, they wrote that chorus, and they're like, oh, save tonight, and they're like, you know, fight the break of dawn, and it's like, okay, but you're fighting to get back to the verse. Right?
Well, you guys.
That's why you only had one hit.
It might be.
Yes, Panda.
Crack the code, Steve.
I love that song.
I don't know if you guys want to say anything else.
Well, I mean, I could sit here and talk to these guys. They're all interesting. And fuck, we have Satan on the show, right?
Okay.
I mean, you know, Steve's got a whole bunch of thoughts like bumbling around in his head, but he just doesn't want to let them out. Like, you, Steve. No, not you, Steve. The other Steve. The other Steve.
Well, I'm stoned, so I'm good, man.
It's fine. It's fine. It's good. You're in a good spot, right? I mean,
you guys want to end the show with an Explode on the World? And then coming back next week and the weeks, you know, all December, we're having Christmas parties. So this was just kind of a chill hangout night.
Ooh, are we doing? Oh yeah. You know what? Like, you know what? Can I have friends on the show?
Yes.
Can I have somebody come sit next to me, or maybe I'll just call them and they'll be like,
yes, like Helena had.
Well, Helena's on the show and she's all of our friends.
Yeah, no, I know, but yeah, you can do that.
Right. Like, I want to invite my buddy Hef because I think he would like enjoy this a little, you know, or maybe my buddy Red because he might.
Either one could help us with that song. So
neither one of them. Well, Hef actually could help us with the song, right?
There it is.
Good work.
Yeah, put him in the square with you.
Put him in a square? All right. Mm-hmm. Get him in a square. I'm going to get him in a square.
Put him in your square.
I'm going to be over here, and he's going to be over here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to share a square with Hef.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Well, thanks, guys.
All right. So, Explode on the World?
Explode on the World. Ready? Count us down, John. Or up, whatever you want. Did I just hit the screen? Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Explode on the world! Thank you, everybody. Thank you, John. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Steve. And thank you, Satan, for coming on to the Ding Rong Show tonight. We will be back next week. And I'll see you later.
Thank you, Pat.
Bye.
Bye.